So Erin, you are with the mayor of Modimolle, where you are, and just lay into this particular conversation. What are some of the challenges that are being experienced by the people of Modimolle? This is a particular council in Limpopo.
Quite right, Crowley. Greetings to you from the hall here, the very floor where those 2,000 voting delegates of the DA are gathered, most of them at least, now that the second day's formal proceedings are underway. And as you say, Marlene van Staden, who is the Modimolle mayor, she has been in office from last year. It was a coin toss for you to get into that seat. And Crowley, they're asking about some of the challenges that the people in Modimolle are facing. What are they? I believe some of them are power related, there's been flooding, but what are the issues on the ground?
Hi, good morning, Erin, and thank you very much. Actually, I've been the mayor since 2016 already. So from 2021 was my second term. But challenges we've experienced over the past week is we had a major storm and we had 180 millimeters of rain in just 24 hours in the Donkerpoort Dam area. And because of that, all the low-level bridges in Modimolle town flooded. Luckily for us, within about 8 hours, that flood water was already gone and the bridges could start opening again. But I was a little bit upset because the past week we've been tarring a lot of those roads, and we recently opened the Limpopo low-level bridge and we tarred Krasani Street, and both of them were underwater this week. So I must be honest with you, I was stressed a little bit because it is such good development if you can open your bridges and you can tar your roads, but you really don't want water on it, especially not in the first few weeks of opening those. But luckily it looks like we had no major infrastructure damage on our tar roads, but we did have some major infrastructure challenges on our electricity infrastructure. We lost 3 transformers, we had to replace a number of isolators and circuit breakers, and as we're speaking right now, there are still customers that are without electricity for the past 24 hours. So because of strong winds and the wet conditions, we could not get to all our customers in a short space of time.
So in terms of your leadership, you've been in office since 2016. There was that coin toss in terms of re-election. You were really on the fence, and it was the help of the Freedom Front Plus and the EFF, who ideologically are in very different necks of the woods, politically speaking, who helped you to secure your now term. What do you learn from that kind of coalition politics, and how might it play into what the DA does at a national level moving forward?
Yes, so I've actually been in a coalition now for nearly 7 years. And I must be honest with you, I think the one thing that I have learned, seeing as we are in a formally coalition with the Freedom Front Plus, is that I think it is important to communicate, and to communicate well and often, but also to have good relationships. So just communication is not enough. You really have to talk and appreciate each other, and build a relationship between colleagues at a provincial and at a council level, and speak to each other. And then when things come up and coalition partners raise issues in terms of maybe the budget or tariffs or a problem they've got, you've got to address it immediately. You can never pretend that an issue a coalition partner raises are not important, or that you don't need to address it. So I really try to do my best that if any coalition partner in the municipality, or even an opposition party, even if the ANC raises an issue, I really try and address it as soon as possible, because in our municipality, for me, it is actually critically important for all of us to work together for the better of the residents that live there. And the one thing that I can say is that I firmly believe that it is possible for all parties in our municipality, I've seen it, it can happen, to take decisions not for themselves and not based on their political ideologies, but based on, would this be the correct decision for the municipality? Yes or no? And I don't say we've never fought. We fight. We do fight. And we disagree. But, nowhere out there could you find that everybody will always agree. So I actually quite like it if people can say, you know what, I don't agree with you, and I don't always agree with what you want to do. It's okay. Let's talk about it, and then let's find a middle way.
So you've spoken about the formal coalition with the Freedom Front Plus. You did get support from the EFF, which helped you to secure
Absolutely.
Now. What appetite is there within the province, Limpopo, for the DA there to work with the EFF?
I don't think there is an appetite to have any formal agreement between the DA and the EFF. I think politically we are so far apart that it's actually impossible for us, if you look at what is our basic values and what are their basic values, it is very difficult to say on a political level, how can we agree to go into a formal coalition? We will not be able to do that. But on a council-to-council level and on an issue-on-issue level in a municipality, it definitely is possible. Because there we don't talk about politics. There we talk about what are we going to do to improve water infrastructure? And are we going to buy new vehicles? Or would it be good for us to have a policy on long service awards? And then we don't have to talk political ideologies. We only talk service delivery.
So we're running short on time, but just lastly then, if the view is that in terms of politics, you're too far from the EFF to work with them in a formal coalition in Limpopo, are you saying then that there is more ideological alignment between you and the Freedom Front Plus, since that is a formal coalition?
Yes, absolutely. I think between the DA and the Freedom Front, there's definitely a lot of similarities. I think there are many things that we believe in, that we can agree upon. So it is much easier for us to talk to them on that level and to agree on what can we do to take it forward.
All right, some insight there, Koli, into things at a mayoral level in Modimolle. Mayors featuring quite prominently in the speeches we had yesterday, and these really are ambassadors for the DA in terms of local governance. We had the likes of Christopher Pappas, for example, Jordan Hill-Lewis addressing delegates here, and now we've also heard about some of those mayoral issues and tasks in Modimolle. You may have heard the Western Cape chanting behind us during that interview. Of course, Alan Winde also addressing delegates here. We're going to move into further proceedings, some closed sessions today, including on the finances of the DA, and then, of course, the big announcement of delegates voting come 2 o'clock, and that address, the maiden speech of the incoming DA leader at 2:30.
Erin Bates, thank you very much. Live for us at the Congress floor. And as you've heard Erin say there, that the person who has just addressed the Congress is Alan Winde, the Premier of the Western Cape, once again using the Western Cape as a flagship project of sorts, if you like. And the DA has been doing this for some time, to say the Western Cape is exactly the province that they are using in order to demonstrate how a good government would look like if the DA were to come into the national sphere of government. But before